Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Good afternoon.
Check out your dream machines with veteran journalist Ron De Los Reyes in one of the longest running motoring shows on Philippine television. Auto Review. Check out your dream machines with veteran journalist Ron De Los Reyes in one of the longest running motoring shows on Philippine television. Auto Review, Saturday afternoons, only here on PTV.
Ladies and gentlemen, we may now be seated. To formally begin our program, may we call on Deputy Speaker and 5th District of Cebu Representative Vincent Franco Duque Frasco to deliver the welcoming remarks.
I am deeply honored to welcome to Pier 88 and to my hometown of Liloan, our esteemed guests, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, House of Representatives Speaker Department of Tourism Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco, Department of Transportation Secretary Jimmy Bautista, Province of Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia, Deputy Speaker Raymond Mendoza, Liloan Mayor Aljo Frasco, Pier 88 Executives Mr. Eric Lim, Mr. Kyle Uy, Attorney Jamil Marquez, District Representatives, City and Municipal Mayors and officials of Cebu, family, friends, ladies and gentlemen, mayong pag-abot dinhi sa lungsod sa Liloan ug mayong hapon kanatong tanan. Good afternoon. As many of you may know, my wife, Christina, gave birth to our 4 adorable and lovely children. However, what you may not know is that we actually have 5 children. Conceived in the year 2015 during my last term as mayor of Liloan, born on March 22, 2019, during Christina's first term as mayor of Liloan, raised with devotion and meticulous preparation by Ninongs Eric and Kyle, I am most proud to present, as any parent would be of their children, the Liloan Cebu Port Development Pier 88. Liloan's Pier 88 is Cebu's first smart port, offering convenient and modern services to commuters from the Visayas connecting to Bohol, the Camotes Islands, Ormoc, Leyte, and of course, the cities of Lapu-Lapu and Cebu, and perhaps more. The port will help decongest traffic in Metro Cebu, particularly in Consolacion and Mandaue City, by providing an alternative mode of transport using the top-line C-Bus. Most importantly, it will improve the quality of life, saving hours and lives of thousands of Cebuanos by significantly cutting travel time of the riding public who commute daily to and from their respective workplaces in Metro Cebu. Pier 88, Port of Liloan, provides an added economic gateway to our already progressive and developed town. It benefits surrounding municipalities and cities and the rest of northern Cebu, and creates massive opportunities for livelihood, employment, commerce, trade, and of course, to Secretary Christina's delight, tourism. Mr. President, Pier 88 fully supports your administration's drive towards economic prosperity by spreading development to the islands and the countryside and uplifting the lives of our fellow Filipinos. This development would not have been possible without our partners and friends, Pier 88 Ventures and Top Line Development CEO Eric Lim, Pier 88 COO Kyle Uy, Attorney Jamil Marquez, and my very supportive wife who believed in me and in this project from the beginning, Secretary Cristina Frasco. And to Vice President Sara Duterte, who broke ground and inaugurated the port with Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia, thank you for your support. To my right, you will see the ongoing construction of the Liloan Boulevard, which is a coastal road providing much-needed accessibility as an alternative to the increasingly congested highways. Thank you to our President, Bongbong Marcos, for your continued support, which will ensure the completion of this road all the way from Liloan, Consolacion, and Mandaue. And to Speaker which will ensure the completion of this road all the way from Liloan, Consolacion, and Mandaue. And to Speaker Martin Romualdez, thank you for your support for the completion of our new and modern Liloan City Hall, which will perfectly complement this new port we are opening today. As I had my heart set on this significant feat ever since I was mayor, Pier 88 became a personal aspiration and goal for my constituents. Pursuing this 8-year-long dream has been quite a journey. After having gone through several elections, a global pandemic, a super typhoon, Liloan grand. Salamat.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker Frasco. And now may we request Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia to give us a message.
His Excellency, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., Vice President Sara Inday Duterte, House Speaker Martin Romualdez, our Deputy Speakers, Duke Frasco and Raymond Mendoza, our other members of the House of Representatives, our members of the Cabinet, our city mayors and municipal mayors, as well as board members that are present, the officials of Pier 88 led by Eric Lim and Kyle Uy, mga binati ug minahal kong kaigsuunang Sugboanon, maayong hapon kanatong tanan. In life, there are synchronicities, random events that seem to look like coincidences. And yet, if you look more closely, you realize that all of these are connected and give meaning to our lives. In 2019, we broke ground right here on what was then a promise of Pier 88, together with and was our special guest, a city mayor, the presidential daughter, Sara Duterte, or Inday. Well, she's back, right here, to inaugurate the realization of that promise, because Pier 88 has now come to full life, and I knew that she would not miss this occasion for the world, to put a full circle to what was started and now has finally been completed. Daghang salamat, Vice President Sara Inday Duterte. In 2010, at around this time too, in celebration of the Liloan Fiesta, we had some guests. I was here, I was governor. We were at the sports complex, and the mayor then kindly invited us for lunch. He was none other than my most favorite son-in-law. He's the only one, anyway. He was then Mayor Duke Frasco. We had, I think at the time, Ernie Maceda and other officials coming from Manila. So we were all seated in the center, the identified presidential table. And as I looked to my right, I saw a solitary figure sitting in the table. I recognized him as the son of a former president and his namesake. And so I told Duke, you have to ask that person to join us here in the presidential table. So he was approached and he came, but at that moment I was struck at the humility of this person. There would be many other occasions that our paths would meet, and always that humility. Well, he is back. And he's seated right here. Our very special guest, the President himself, Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. Little did we know then that in 2022, both of them would team up under the banner of UniTeam, calling for unity in this fractured and divided country of ours. And that was what the Filipinos were looking for. The Filipinos responded, in fact. The Cebuanos responded with a deafening cry, yes, unity, sama-sama tayong babangon muli. And lo and behold, the entire Cebu Island, one Cebu Island, Mayor Mike, Mayor Jonas, Mayor Ahong, and all of us Cebuanos trooped to the voting precincts, and with one voice, we delivered the highest votes for president and vice president throughout the entire country. Look at us. We're gathered here this afternoon because Pier 88 has finally been completed despite the many challenges, the pandemic, the lockdowns, and as a double whammy, Typhoon Odette. But look, it seems as though those difficulties never happened because Eric and Kyle and the rest of the Pier 88 team refused to succumb to all of the hardships that they had to encounter. Congratulations, Pier 88. This will finally end the suffering of Camotes Island, particularly, where for many years, the trips were monopolized by one shipping line, traveling from another port to a private port. Look, right now, responding with a roar, immediately represented by these three vessels, Ocean Jet, Aznar Shipping, and Super Shuttle. These will now give the people of Camotes and the people of Cebu a choice. More importantly, the riding public, a choice to reach Camotes and for our mayors of Poro, San Francisco, Tudela, and even Pilar, a much brighter future of economic development through a boom in tourism. My daughter should get very happy about this. Synchronicities, coincidences, these are not random. They happen for a reason. And throughout this afternoon, I've been trying to think of what possible reason could have brought us all together here on this stage, brought us all together. Our officials and Cebuanos to celebrate this milestone. And then we go back to unity and uniteam. For what greater reason could there possibly be than coming together in oneness, in unity, to serve our people, to serve those that are most in need, ang mga Cebuanon, ang mga Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong babangon muli. Congratulations, Pier 88. This is just one of the many coincidences that will continue to happen for as long as we remember the core of why we have been given this opportunity to serve. Unity. Unity. One Cebu Island unity. Daghang salamat. Maayong hapon.
Thank you, Governor Garcia. Now to give us a bird's eye view of the project, may we request Top Line Group of Companies and Pier 88 Ventures Inc. CEO and President, Eugene Eric Lim.
Thank you for the time. It's our pleasure to have everyone here. To President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., sir, thank you for the time, sir. To Vice President Sara Duterte, ma'am, you've been here since the groundbreaking to the inauguration. Thank you so much for the support, ma'am. And to all the distinguished guests here present, sirs, ma'am, and everyone here, good afternoon, magandang hapon, maayong hapon sa tanan. So our Pier 88 grand launching is to showcase our port and its facilities. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank Congressman Duke, Secretary Cristina, Mayor Aljo on how they conceptualized the port of Liloan. A big round of applause, please. This project is about helping the public and the people to decongest traffic and promote economic activity, not only in the north, part of Cebu, but also in the Cebu Island as a whole. Actually, I prepared a very short presentation, sir. If it's okay with everyone, just 4 hours lang naman eh. If it's okay. Yeah. And actually, I also want to ask anyone here, would you know if how many times we changed the design of Pier 88? Trivia question? May premyo. Ha? 88? Grabe naman. Hindi naman 88 times. Sobra naman. So if you see the screen here, this is actually the old photos of 2019 when we started construction. This is our first design for the port. And then, of course, COVID happened. So we had to reinvent ourselves. We had to put more alfresco, open dining. And then the next phase would be, we encountered a very devastating typhoon, Typhoon Odette, which was a shock to all of the Cebuanos. So again, for Pier 88 and the team, we had to reinvent again ourselves. So this is actually the inauguration day, Ma'am VP. And this is the aftermath of the Typhoon Odette. So basically, nag-U yung causeway natin. So it was that powerful. And now, current design, it's now this one. This is the design of Pier 88. Isn't it amazing? We would also want to thank our bank partner, DBP and its team, for your understanding and being patient despite the many changes sa design. Sorry sa inyo. Thank you, ma'am and sirs, for that. And so what sets Pier 88 apart from other ports? So we are actually using the Smart Port system, and it's a green building. And of course, for Liloan, for Pier 88, the location is very strategic on the northern part of Cebu. The Smart Port system that we're using is an automated ticketing system, not only for passengers, but also for cargo. With our QR code system, this can make travel seamless for the passengers. This is also the same with our South Bus Terminal Gov, so which, of course, Governor Gwen and the province is our partner. So this is more of the automation. We can do QR code system, we can book online. You don't have to be here to book your tickets, so everything is seamless for the passengers. For our green building, we're also installing solar panels in the building to power our electricity, and this is also part of the company's goal for decarbonization. And I believe also, Mr. President, this is also one of your programs to use more renewables to help the environment, sir. So we have solar panels on top of the building to power the electricity needs for the port. And to add to that, we have a mixed-use development. We will be incorporating this promenade. We're calling it Food Station. So where we are right now, we'll be redeveloping it as a promenade. So basically, there will be different stalls and other tenants. Of course, we're calling it, again, Food Station because it has a very spectacular view of the port and the scenery here in Liloan. And in fact, I think we've already had tenants signed up. We have 7-Eleven. I think we have Titay's here. And also, we're still in talks with Starbucks. And I think LTO is also renovating upstairs, secretary, for that. So, and of course, as what Congressman Duke mentioned earlier, for Liloan, this serves as a touch point for other port destinations. So when we did our dry run from Liloan to Mactan, instead of doing land travel, it's only here, Liloan, Mactan, it takes about 30 to 40 minutes. Instead of going land travel, it takes about, I don't know, 1 hour 30 or 2 hours. I don't know. 2 hours na lang. It's okay. And this is more or less our top line sea buses that will be flying soon, Mr. President. This is actually QR code ready. It has a capacity of 150 passengers. And also, the one who built the sea bus is also from this part of Cebu, which is the northern part from Carmen, which is from DCF Construction. So we're just getting all of the talents here in Metro Cebu. Yeah, this is just the sea bus in action. I'm gonna cut this video. So exciting times indeed for Pier 88 and the public, riding public soon, Pohon. And of course, none of this will be possible without the people behind it. To our construction team, Sir Ed, Sir June, mga walang tulugan team, paka natin sila, di ba? The financial team, Bong, Dax, and Dina. our contractors, suppliers, Pier 88 team headed by our very dynamic COO, Kyle Uy, Attorney Jemel, VP of Operations, Ma'am Bridget, and Attorney Mikey, the Pier 88 and Topline family, working committee, my family, my parents and sisters, to our friends and partners, Architect Jonathan, LBC Asia, the CPA, all government agencies, bank partners, shipping operators and partners, and of course, to our Lord Almighty Jesus Christ for the guidance and insights for this project. I hope if I didn't mention you, you know who you are that made this project possible. I would like to share this quote before I end my speech from Leo Buscaglia, and it goes, "Your talent is God's gift to you. What you do with it is your gift back to God." Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very, very, very much. And before I leave you, Direct Gilbert has actually prepared an AVP presentation for Pier 88 when we started and the design right now. Again, thank you very much.
At this juncture, to introduce our guest of honor and keynote speaker, may we call on the Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines, Honorable Sara Z. Duterte.
Please stand. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos, Jr.
Thank you very much to our good Vice President for her please take your seats, for her very kind introduction. Parang nabalik ako dun sa kampanya, nandun kami dalawa ni Inday Sara nagbubungis-ngisan ulit. And the reason I made her laugh is that I told her, dito sa mga gulong nangyayari, I have just officially designated myself as your self-appointed official BFF. So, sorry na lang, sayot mo sa gusto mo, I'm still your #1 fan. our good speaker, Martin Romualdez, and of course, our tourism secretary, Secretary Cristina Frasco, the transportation secretary, Jimmy Bautista, the Cebu 5th District representative, of course, Duke Frasco, the Cebu City Governor, our good friend, Governor Gwen Garcia, the Liloan Municipal Mayor, Aljo Frasco, the Top Line Group of Companies President and CEO, Eugene Eric Lim, fellow workers in government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Maayong hapon sa inyong tanan. Today I stand together with the people of Liloan for two very significant and important reasons. We witness today the grand launching of Pier 88, which shall offer a faster transport alternative for passengers and for cargo, and holds promise to become a local economic hub. It shall immensely serve the interests of the people of Liloan and beyond. It's made more special since it coincides with the 178th anniversary of Liloan, with the Rosquillos Festival, which is named after the native delicacy which Liloan has been known for decades. In a sense, this is also a grand relaunching of the Rosquillos Festival after a 3-year hiatus due to the pandemic. With the public health emergency having been declared no longer an emergency, no longer one of international concern, we can now resume the traditional festivities, and we can now resume the work that we had begun for all the development around our country, now in Cebu, in Liloan. It's encouraging to see that the massive undertaking such as this, where the local government takes the lead and collaborates with the private sector and other LGUs in the pursuit of objectives consonant with the national development agenda. If we note its cohesive features, it can be seen that several public services and developmental goals are delivered and achieved all at the same time. Public infrastructure, transport, development, road traffic decongestion. But there is the governor hit the nail upon the head when she said that these are just parts of a bigger system that we will synchronize and put together. At the face of it, for example, we have now this Pier 88, we now have a ferry service, we talk about Camotes Island. And we think, of course, that is going to be good for Liloan, it's going to be good for Camotes, but it doesn't end there. The concept that as ASEAN leaders have been talking about, so as to develop the economies of the ASEAN member states, is a concept of connectivity. We have used the word connectivity merely to describe digital connectivity. We have now extended the meaning of that connectivity to include not only digital connectivity, but also to include connectivity in terms of land and sea and air transport. And this is what that provides. We have seen, all of us have seen, all the problems with supply chain networks. And that is why we have focused, all of us have focused on making that connectivity more smooth and more streamlined and more accessible and easier to use, and therefore making the ease of doing business not such a difficult effort for those who would like to do business in any way whatsoever. And so this is, for example, here in this example that we have here before us, we talk about the tourism industry, which will be improved by that. But this is not just the tourism for Liloan, for Cebu, for Camotes Island. This is in consonance with the discussions that we have been making with other countries, especially around ASEAN, even including all the way up to Europe, in that we are going to work together so that to increase our tourism volume. And this is, again, It may seem as just one single part. It is a very good development, but we must think of it in terms of not only this single port that we are looking at here now, but as part of a larger system, a larger network, which will make it easier for not only for Filipinos to get from one place to another, Filipinos to be able to do business, to open up areas that do not have economic activity as of now. I mean, if you think about it, the first time I went to Camotes Island, there were really no resorts, there were really no developments there, and now slowly that has begun, and this will just accelerate that process. And it is part of that network which we are trying to put together for the entire country to also accelerate the economic activity in those other places. And so this is why today is very important, because today we put in place a very important piece of that puzzle that we are trying to put together so that our connectivity, not only amongst the islands of the Philippines, but even amongst our international friends and visitors and tourists, is strengthened and made more easy and made more accessible. These are the important aspects that we have to attend to if we are going to transform our economy into the post-pandemic economy. So there is much that we will achieve. There are activities of tourism, job generation, energy efficiency, sustainability. I was in Cebu City 3 months ago for the groundbreaking of the Cebu Bus Rapid Transit System. Transportation na naman, because more connectivity. And that, again, is what we have been pushing for. That is another project that is likewise guaranteed to gear these to help us achieve these multiple objectives. With the many benefits to the public interest, these projects showcase kindred examples of good urban planning. Let us imagine if these kinds of projects are replicated across the country, laterally and locally coordinated, and harmonized both on the provincial and national levels. Then we could say that we are genuinely closer to our ambition of a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient society. Hence, we highlight the essential importance of holistic, systematic, and integrated planning in our country today, as we slowly but collectively tread along that path. In Japan, this urban planning concept is known as Machizukuri. In the literal sense, it means town planning. But in the essence that the concept carries, there is a more weighty and more profound idea behind it, such as the primacy of the national framework, the evolution of local planning powers to local governments, the importance of data, and community participation. Our response to this is what we have come to call the whole of government approach. When we are confronted with challenges, or when we have a program that we would like to achieve, we apply all the resources, all the capacities, all the abilities of the bureaucracy of government, and no matter what department they are, no matter what agency they might be, they are all applied to solve that problem. And that includes the coordination between the national government and the local government. It is the only way, in my view, that I see that we can succeed both at the local level and at the national level. So we laud the efforts, not only of Liloan, but of course of Cebu Province, to the coordinative efforts of the Metropolitan Cebu Development and Coordinating Board in their pursuit of good urban planning and development practices. The vision of Mega Cebu by 2050 is already in place. This is actively being pursued as we speak. As an island province with several cities and municipalities, Cebu stands to greatly benefit from a systematic and integrated planning. Such kind of strategic planning will serve to further solidify its urban development foundation and consolidate its socio-economic strength. It will be a boon not only for Cebu, but for the rest of the country. And again, we have to remark that as in many other forward-looking programs, Cebu once again leads the way. Cebu once again shows the way for the rest of the Philippines. We will be watching the success of all of these coordinated efforts that we are doing with Cebu. And again, we will use those examples around the country. But now allow me to reiterate the urgency of enacting a land use policy for our country, which is a priority legislative agenda of this administration. I have had the opportunity to work on this matter when I chaired the Senate Urban Planning, Housing, and Resettlement Committee some years ago. It never materialized for reasons beyond our control. The pandemic is also included in that circumstance. This time, we will see to it that this measure shall be given urgent attention that it deserves, cognizant of its fundamental importance to our holistic national development. Through a physical framework plan, all mandates and policies on land use shall be integrated, from watersheds to farmlands, from cultural heritage sites to ancestral domains, from protected disaster-prone areas. Local governments must ensure that their respective physical and land use plans shall conform to and shall be consistent with the national plan, hence the whole of government approach. Moreover, national and local governments will tap the budding profession of environmental planners for its technical expertise in the crafting of accurate and well-aligned physical and land use plans. I thank the House of Representatives for its timely and significant action in having approved their version of the bill on third reading just a few days ago. It is terribly important. I have been following this from the time that I was governor to the time that I was congressman until the time I was senator, and I continue to do so now as president. And so I exhort the local government of Liloan, the whole of Cebu, to continue generating these kind of high-impact projects and give us once again examples of best practices. May your examples be a source of inspiration and ideas for others to emulate, to follow, and to succeed with. Let me congratulate, of course, our private sector partners whose ideas and investments have led to the completion of the sport and mixed-use development project, Pier 88 Ventures Incorporated and Topline Group of companies. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your help, and thank you for providing this service for our people. Rest assured, my administration will continue to encourage and nurture these dynamic collaborations between highly capacitated LGUs and the private sector. All of us look forward to the full blast operations of Pier 88 very, very soon. Happy anniversary and enjoyable Rosquillos Festival to one and all. Mabuhay ang Liloan at ang buong lalawigan ng Cebu. Daghang salamat sa inyong tanan.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this point, may we request the President to kindly grant us a photo opportunity. First, may we call on stage the special guests and other government officials present today. Please stand by and prepare. Pier 88 Ventures, Inc. Thank you, special guests and other government officials present today. You may now exit to your right. Next, we'd like to call on Pier 88 Ventures, Inc. You may now proceed on stage. Please prepare and be on standby, top line group of companies. Thank you, Pier 8 Ventures, Inc. You may now exit to the right of the stage. Next, top line group of companies, you may now proceed on stage. Please stand by and prepare 5th District Mayors and Cebu Congressmen. Thank you, top line group of companies. You may now exit to your right. Please proceed on stage, 5th District Mayors and Cebu Congressmen. Please prepare and be on standby, local government unit of Liloan. Thank you, 5th District Mayors and Cebu Congressmen. Now we'd like to call on the local government unit. Thank you to all our local government unit representatives. Please exit to your right. Thank you, Mr. President, for granting us this photo opportunity. That concludes our program. Thank you, Mr. President, for gracing the event today. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.